Yo, what's poppin', everybody? Welcome back to the podcast, another episode of Caffeine and Green with your man, Connor Cardenas. And before we get into it today, man, I just want to give a huge shout out to the sponsors of Caffeine and Green, which is Thorn Street Brewery coming straight out of North Park, and Seven Seas Roasting Company coming in straight out of South Park. That's right, we holding it down in San Diego. Now, one of the best things about having Seven Seas as one of the sponsors of Caffeine and Green is that they've afforded me a code, which I'm going to give to y'all so you can head over to sevenseasroasting.com. You're going to go over to that coffee tab. You're going to look at the coffees that we're offering on the website, which is the espresso blend right now, the non-Kali, which is a Laos coffee that tastes a little bit, a little butter cookie, a little dried mango, a little bit of almond. Our espresso blend, which is a classic, which has its chocolatey, it's berry forward. It's got a little bit of just something that everybody likes. And then also now we have the roaster's choice. So we have some very, very good coffees. And you're going to select 3 of those coffees because my code affords you 3 bags of coffee for $30. That's right, I said it. So the 3 coffees that I mentioned, you can head over there, select all 3, and you're going to basically get 1 bag of coffee for free. Now that's a no-brainer because 1 bag of coffee is $16 depending on the coffee that you're getting. So if you get 3 bags for $30, you're basically getting a bag of coffee for free. Again, no-brainer. So go ahead and select those 3 coffees. You're going to input my code, which is CANDG, that's C&G at checkout, and you're going to be able to get that deal. Now, unfortunately, the Spikes roast is not included in this deal because that is a 100% charity roast. So, again, select any of the 3 coffees that I mentioned, the Laos Non-Kali, the Espresso Blend, or our Roaster's Choice, and you're going to input my code, CANDG at checkout, and you're going to get that 3 bags of coffee for $30. My guest today is a very, very special guest. His name is Mr. Mike Marasco. If you have been in the LA area, the Simi Valley, the San Fernando Valley, or just, I don't know, maybe you're a famous rapper, maybe you're Beyonce. It doesn't matter. You have definitely heard of Mike Marasco. And if you haven't heard of him, you've heard of his media company called Raw Media House. That's right. This is my man. I met him in skateboarding. We go back. And he is just as talented on the board as he is when he makes films. It is amazing. I got to meet him and his wife. His wife is the other half of Raw Media House, and they do amazing things together. I cannot say enough how excited I am about this podcast. He, like I said, he's worked with Beyonce. He's worked with Trinidad James. He's worked with Blac Youngsta, DJ Khaled, Juicy J. I mean, the list is endless, and Vogue magazine. These things are amazing. And he's got some things down the pipe that, he's maybe thinking about some movies. So please enjoy this podcast. It's amazing to hear not only the stories that he has to tell, but the perseverance, the gambles that he's taken, the things that he's doing to continue to be who he is, which is exactly Mike Marasco. So without further ado, my homie, Mike Marasco. This is your time to shine, homie. Let's go. Caffeine and Green. It's your boy Connor. What's good? Good. Caffeine and Green. Right. And we are live.
What's up, man? How you doing?
Mike Marasco, welcome to Caffeine and Green, sir. Cheers.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Mm-hmm. Dude, I generally just I get right into it.
Cool.
And we've been homies for, we were talking about when I got here, we were talking about when I met you, and it was probably like 2005, 2006. So we've been friends for about
a long time.
15 years.
Yeah.
Dude, and I've seen you progress throughout the years. I met you through skateboarding. That's how I have kept in contact with you. We'll joke about whatever through DMs on Instagram throughout the years, but just getting right into this, man, you have really blossomed as as a man, as an individual, as a skateboarder. We met because of skateboarding, and you were a videographer, cinematographer, if you will, and you had some success in skate videos, and then you've basically transcended that from skateboarding into this beautiful home that you have, and
thank you.
The videos and the work and the people that you've worked with. And even now, as I'm talking about it, I'm getting excited Like, but before we get too far into it, I wanted to talk about your origins and how it was through skateboarding that kind of all this has come to fruition, correct?
Yeah, 100% skateboarding. Like without skateboarding, nothing. Like I don't even know what I'd be doing right now.
At all,
period. Like I couldn't figure it out. I went to college, like a community college for 3 years to try to figure it out because like I knew I loved skating and I loved filmmaking, but like I never thought that either of them would be a career, right?
Yeah.
So I went to school to try to figure it out. Couldn't figure it out. So thank God my parents were like, you need to go to school.
Yep.
You got to do something. So do what you like. And I was like, okay, filmmaking it is. Like, let's try it out. Yeah, to take it serious. But going back to like how I fell in love with it. You ever heard of Nick McCloud?
Have I heard of Nick McCloud?
The best style in the history of skateboarding.
Yep.
Every pro skater's favorite skater style. Boom.
Yeah.
Right? Okay, so I met him in kindergarten, right? Like
Really?
4 years old. Yeah, I met him. And so we became like best buddies. He lived down the street. And I remember I'm 5th grade. He comes over and he has a skateboard. And I go, where did you get that? He goes, $2 at a garage sale. And the dude was already doing kickflips. Like within a week doing kickflips.
Nick.
And so, so I like fell in love with it. I was like, I need to get a skateboard. Boom, boom, boom. Got the skateboard.
Mm-hmm.
And then my big sister had to do a school project, shoot something. So she pulls the camera out of the attic that my dad had that he used for like Christmas and stuff. And I didn't fall in love with it when he was doing that. I was too young. He brought it out like twice. And she pulls the camera out. And just being able to watch myself skate made me fall in love with like the idea of showing, like just shooting things and be able to watch it later. Right.
Wow.
So thank God for Mary having that school project, because if she didn't do that school project, I wouldn't fall in love with it.
Yep.
So I took the camera to the skate park, plugged it into the wall for like 5 years with VHS tapes, edit VHS to VHS, and like the rest is history, really. I just had to grow with technology.
Was it, you started off just filming yourself and Nick?
Yeah, that's it. And like, there was even like a rollerblader, this guy Josh, that I would shoot to a little bit. He was cool. Yeah, he was cool. It was funny.
Dude.
He was doing front flips.
Dude, Nick McCloud is by far one of like, he was the first dude I think I ever saw do like a balanced backside nose grind pop out.
He's the best
exactly
skateboarder of all time.
Yeah.
You know, what's crazy is like, there was a time I was with, who was I with? It was Chris Roberts. Chris Roberts brought me to a skate session. Okay. Chris Roberts brought me to the skate session, and Kenny Anderson's there, right?
Okay.
And so we go to the skate shop because somebody needs to get like a wheel or a board or whatever. And we go to the shop, and then we're like walking out of the skate shop, and all of a sudden Nick's part from Forecast comes on.
Mm-hmm.
And he like heard, Kenny Anderson like heard the music, and he turns around and he goes, "That's my favorite skateboarder." And he like turns around, watches Nick's part on the TV, and he goes, "Do you know this guy? Like, who the fuck is this guy? Like, he's the best style, best thing. I've never seen him anywhere." And so he was like, "Have him call me." So like Nick is everybody's favorite skateboarder at this moment, but I love the guy. I don't know what happened.
Dude.
He could have been the biggest and the best in the industry, dude. He really could have been. I truly believe it.
Dude, remember when the Bueno Wizards of Radical came out? And I remember he was so pumped. He came to the skate lab that night and he was like, "Dude, my part has claps in it." That was like all he said about his part. I was like, "What else about your part though?" And he's, "I don't know. The song is amazing." And but then you watch it and it was like, dude, fucking sick. I mean, at that time too, it was like Stacey Lowry, it was Shiloh Greathouse and him. And then like, I don't remember who else. Sorry. That was definitely the 3 major players that I remember watching. And like Nick was like, he fit so perfectly on that team. The artwork, the boards, everything, and the riders. I mean, but he was definitely way more steezy. It's like, especially with his back tail, like backside big spins. He was doing the like 270 shoves out too. Like,
just watch the dude do a kickflip. There's only one other person in skating that I could say even compares to him in style, and it'd be Wade DeZarmo. Like, all you got to see is one kickflip, and you're like, okay, he's the best in the world. Like, I don't need to see anybody do a kickflip, nose grind, nollie flip out or whatever. Like, I could just watch this guy do a kickflip, and like, I'm satisfied. Thank you. Thank you very much for that.
Dude, I feel that way with Wade DeSarmo's back tail in his like first line in Official. Oh, God. It's Official. He does like that super gnarly pop out. I remember watching it with Brian Score and Val, and all of them would just be like, "Are you serious?" Like, they'd be rewinding just the back tail. So it was like,
oh God.
But I mean, with all that being said, I mean, you've already said his name, Chris Roberts. He had a part in your Via Marina video.
Yeah.
And that was one thing I definitely wanted to touch on, because that was, I mean, you had done Wild Power. That came first.
No, Wild Power was the second video
Second video.
Via Marina was like the first legit video I'd done.
Okay.
But it was me, Eric Longden, and Cricket.
Yeah.
Like 3 of us kind of tag teamed and made it happen.
And that was when we were talking about this before the podcast. That was when like everybody was either about to blow or like already blown up, but it was like Furby and Sean
McNulty?
Yeah.
My favorite?
Dude, McNulty was the still the homie,
yes.
obviously, but McNulty, Guffey,
Mm-hmm.
Aaron Snyder, Joey Brzezinski.
Joey Brzezinski was in it. Daniel Castillo was in it. Richie Jackson had a part.
Dude, I forgot about that.
Yeah, it was like, I feel like it was like the internet on a video when the internet skating didn't exist, which is kind of an interesting story.
Dude, yeah. Yeah. No worries.
Yeah.
But I mean, that was when, again, I kind of fast forward a little bit here too, but I think it was around that time or right after that time was when me and you started skating a lot, just one-on-one.
Yeah.
Because I was filming you.
Mm-hmm.
And I filmed you like, I could be completely wrong. I don't know what you hurt in your knee, but you essentially like broke your knee.
Yeah. Oh, were you there the day that I fucked my knee up?
I
you
filmed
and Val?
I filmed it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then getting
That's
you out of
right.
the fucking
dude.
school and shit.
Yeah,
like,
game over.
Dude,
Life changer.
Yeah, it was just me and you though. I don't think Val was there that day. Was Val there?
I think Val was there. Because I remember I was trying to do a nollie frontside feeble on the it was a 7-stair rail.
The shootout. Because you're goofy.
I'm goofy.
You were doing switch nose blunt.
Was I?
Yeah.
See, I don't remember anything.
Dude, I remember that clear as day because when you fucking hit the ground,
yeah.
I was so scared.
But I think I had already damaged it on a handrail. Like, so basically, I know I hurt my knee on like a very specific trick. And then I went to the doctor and he was like, hey, you're going to need to get knee surgery and you're not going to be able to skate for a year. But he's like, your PCL is hanging on by a thread. So like, if you want to continue skating till it rips, like, go for it. So I basically hung on for like a year. And so anytime I go out and my knee bent, like it would lock up and it was like a burning sense. It was the worst feeling ever. And then eventually I couldn't walk upstairs and got to get the surgery.
Dude.
Yeah. But I did switch 5-0 Wilshire 10 with a fucked up knee. And that was the last trick I did before I went and got surgery. It was like a goal of mine. I had to do that before I got surgery because then I'd be like satisfied if I could never skate again. Yeah.
So that was after I'd filmed you break your knee?
Mm-hmm.
Holy shit, dude.
Yeah.
Oh my God. That is so gnarly. That's really awesome that you did that. But then at the same time, it's like, that's so gnarly.
Yeah. It was fucked up, man. It was quite the experience of like, because like obviously I wanted to skate, but I love filming, right?
Yeah.
And so like all I would do is film and skate every day. Go to school, film, skate, go to school, film, skate. All I'm thinking about is tricks, right?
Yeah.
And having both things taken away from me at the same time was like the most devastating, like soul crushing, mental thing that I've ever gone through, where like you have something that you're addicted to. I almost imagine it would be like getting off heroin or some shit. Like this is your thing and now it's done. Sorry. And not to mention now you can't do both of those things that keep you happy. So it was like a crazy transitional moment in my life, but like, thank God it happened.
Yeah.
Thank God it happened. I needed it. Like it kind of shifted my mentality of like, what's important? What do I need to do? And how do I get there? Boom.
But you as a skateboarder, and I'm sure you can definitely relate to this as I did, because we talked about this again before the podcast. It was, I told you I broke my back and I dislocated my hip and that ended my skating like that. And I could still skate. I skate with Ray. I skate with all the homies.
Yeah, you could cruise, but like you're not.
Yeah, no, there's definitely not what we were doing back in the day. So, and I had mentioned to you that like when after that had happened to me, I went through like not like a mental breakdown, but who am I at that point? Because I was so interlinked with skateboarding as a skateboarder and who it made me as a person. And you went through the same thing.
Same exact thing, man.
Dude, like crying, bro. Like I had full on days where I was like, I don't even know who I am if I'm not a skateboarder.
Mm-hmm. It took me 3 years.
3 years?
Yeah, 3 years to like get back to like a good place where like I am comfortable now in my body, right? Because like you just have this, I don't even know how to explain it. It just fucked up, man. Fucked up my whole perspective, my mentality. Like, what am I doing with my life?
Dude.
But thank God for filming. Right?
Yeah. So
like I'm fucked. So boom, the knee like kind of heals, right?
Okay.
And so I'm still like filming skateboarding, not filming lines because I can barely fucking push.
Mm-hmm.
But it kept me, when I was out with my friends, like basically like my family, like filming my friends skate made me happy. So like I learned through that experience that like just being with my friends and keeping my mind occupied was like a positive thing for me. So I just made it a point like, all right, I'm gonna be the best at this. I'm gonna figure out how to be the best at this and just focus on it. And so by the time I'm like 24, that's when I started to transition out of like filming skating, knowing that no matter how much you put into skateboarding, right? Like skateboarding doesn't necessarily need to give that back to you.
Yeah.
And so you have to just accept it and know that it's a passion and that when you do it, it's awesome.
For the love.
Yeah, that's it. Like it's just for the love and it's a hobby. So like I still love skating. I still follow skating. I still wish I could go jump down a set of stairs when I'm pissed off because that would just feel great. But
100%.
Like, I can't do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can you even cruise?
I could cruise,
Okay.
but like so I went out like 9 months, maybe almost a year ago, for 1 hour. Took me out for a week. That's it.
Dude.
Thighs burning, like done. Knee aching. So my knee re-ripped. Like now I have to get another surgery. I'm not gonna get the surgery. I'm over it. But so my ligament in my knee is completely ripped again.
From that one session?
No, it was before that. Like I knew it was ripped, but I still went out. Like I was like just hoping that it would be, like it's some dumb shit. Like I was just like, okay, my friends are going out. Like I haven't skated for like 2 years. I'm just gonna like try.
Yeah.
Yeah, not a good idea. The shit hurts.
Yeah, bro.
Yeah.
Dude, it took me after I broke my back. I went from like running, like marathons, half marathons, working out all the time to legit. After I broke my back, I couldn't even walk half a mile. But now I'm like, I'm good. But it took me 2 years to run a mile. And then it took me another, from the time I broke it, so I was 28, so I'm 33 now. So it took me 5 years to get back to like super like healthy, strong. And now I'm like in jiu-jitsu. So that's like, yo, you just got to keep going. Like for me, because luckily it wasn't that bad of a break. It was more like a crack. It wasn't like
just a crack in your life, you know?
Yeah, just a minor crack. But I mean, so for like when you started to transition out of filming skating, how did you go about linking up with people that got you in the position that you are today?
Man, okay, so this is crazy. There was like one specific skate session that technically like changed my life in a way. And this is like years before I got surgery.
Again, but skateboarding.
Yeah, skateboarding brought me into like I owe everything to skateboarding, period. Like there's not, I mean, and obviously my mom and dad, like, you know? But basically, there was a session where I met a person named Justin Hogan. He was another skate filmer. And he knew that I had an HD camera, which was like rare at the time to have like an HD camera and be filming skating with it. And so like 5 years later, he moved to New York and was working at a place called Complex Magazine. And he was just like, they needed somebody with an HD camera in LA, and light bulb went off. And he's like, oh, Mike has an HD camera in LA. I'll connect him with this job. It was like a behind the scenes of like a photo shoot.
This is 5 years later.
Yeah. It was crazy. Yeah.
You easily could not have the camera still.
Easily, yeah. But I did. I wasn't getting rid of it. And so I show up to this shoot, and I have like this like ladder dolly thing that I had made. Like I cut a ladder in half, and like I'm shooting the photo shoot on like a little camera, and everybody's looking at me weird, like, what the fuck? Like I've never seen somebody with a ladder show up with a camera and make the footage look like that. Because back then it was like zoom in, zoom out. Nobody had DSLRs with lenses. I remember I went to the store the day before. I found out about a 5D, bought the camera, showed up to the shoot the next day, and it was like the first legit photo shoot shot properly in some weird twisted. I don't know. It was just like all timing for me.
That's
Worked
awesome.
out perfect. Yeah. So the quality of the work leveled up basically because of the camera in a weird way.
Dude.
Now you get to stuff like these kids that are coming up. When they're 10 years old, the 5D already existed. Like the A7S already existed. So like they're, by the time they get to 15, 16, they're already better than me. They have a completely different way of like analyzing how to capture things because the technology, they grew up with the technology. I grew up with a plug-in camera in the wall.
Yeah. Do you find that when you're working with younger individuals now, they're like giving you more knowledge?
Yeah. The younger cats look at, I was talking to them the other day. They're in their like between the ages of like 19 and 25, right? I'm 34, so I feel like I'm old even though, whatever. So these guys basically like, here is a beer. This is a beer, okay? I'm going to set the camera up and I'm going to shoot this beer. And this is what it looks like, a beer.
Yeah.
Okay? This kid is like, this is all of them. Let's just shoot this piece of wood right here and then we'll put the beer in later. And I'm going, huh? Like, that's not how I think. I think practically. Like, they think what's not there and how can I make it be there. So it's just like a different approach that I don't think like that. I wasn't trained to think like that, but it's fucking awesome, man. It's
So
great.
what's the purpose of that then?
Because then they can move the camera into weird, like if they create the beer from scratch, they can hover 360 around the camera without having to put a $100,000 camera rig around the damn thing. So like if I wanted to get the camera to spin around this thing right here, like I'd have to build this track and put the thing on a motor and have somebody pushing it and pulling it and changing focus. Like, no, they just build a beer in a 3D world and have an imaginary 3D camera spinning around the beer and it looks real.
So just multiple different shots from different angles, but no beer there, and then eventually just put the beer there, and then they can just...
They don't even need the beer. They don't even need the beer. What the? It's just boom. Maybe they'll edit this. Maybe they'll put the beer there for us.
Dude, that's crazy. I love
It's crazy.
that. I love that. That's amazing. I mean,
Yeah.
I myself, like working in coffee, I have our manager of our shop, she will look at the Instagram, and I was literally watching her scroll through Instagram, just clicking. She doesn't even look at the fucking at the stories. She's like, I only stop if I see something that I like. Dogs, this, that. And I literally was watching her and I was like, holy shit. I thought about Insta in a different way. Like instantly, it's like less type or this type, or like you just have to, who are you really trying to film for? Who's your demographic? And that like was a light bulb in my head, just seeing that. And now whenever I'm doing social media stuff, I'm talking to her about it. I'm like, hey, I want to do this. I want to do that. And she'll be like, do it like this, do it like this. And I'll be like, perfect. And now that's given me a new insight to how I think about social media marketing, essentially. I can't even
social
imagine.
Media.
Dude, there was so funny. There's like a homie of mine. He like posted a comment one time. He's like, if you don't post, do you even exist? And when I read that, it struck a chord with me because it's like, dude, everything we're doing right now, it's like multiple camera angles, behind the scenes with the homie, blah, 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 blah. We have all these different things, and it's just a show to promote. It's promotion. That's all it is. It's always plugging, because you need to get the followers, you need to get the audience, people to be aware. Necessary evil, but it's like, that's what you're doing. Like on a bigger scale, of course, because you have like music videos that you shoot and people that you
I'm
with.
shooting the social media for people.
Yeah.
My social media is struggling right now. Because I used to post every day, like I'd post like a camera build or a lens or this and that. And then I'm like, it got to the point where like now my social media is like my business card in a way. Like you want to see what I could do? Yeah, just go to my thing and like I have like 20 clips up that are my favorite pieces of work that I've done.
Yeah, I have noticed that when I was looking. I
deleted everything.
Yeah, you deleted everything. And I've followed you for years, ever since we've been friends. I've always followed you, and then I was going through your page and I was like, oh, he cut off everything, and it's now just a portfolio. That's really what it is.
Yeah,
I was having this conversation the other day, and that's, I mean, when you look at whether it's Caffeine and Green or yourself, if you're just posting stuff that's promoting your brand essentially or your work, it's like that's all it really is. It's a new age portfolio. You don't have to walk in with like, I remember going to interviews with like big ass like floppy kind of things that you could like turn pages and be like, here's my portfolio. This is the work that I've done. This is the art, like the events that I've coordinated.
Oh God, right?
Like,
here's my thing. Here, this is what I did over the past 6 months.
Dude,
if you like it, let's work. If not, like, all right, whatever.
So Complex was your big first break.
Yeah, I would say so. Yeah.
So then after Complex, what happened?
Same guy, dude. Justin Hogan. Dude, made my life, right?
Yeah.
So he goes to a company called Karmaloop. And then Karmaloop, he introduced me to the person who was running it. And I can't think of his name right now. Greg Weinstein. And so Greg Weinstein is like the owner of it or whatever, and he wants me and my wife to go, at the time my girlfriend, to go shoot like interviews with artists and this and that. And I was kind of getting like burnt out on doing interviews. Like it just kind of, I just wanted to be creative, right? And I'd probably shot like 150 interviews. I'm like, ugh, like what's next,
Yeah, because you're behind the camera, not doing the interview.
No, okay. Just behind the camera. And so I was like, I don't really want to do that stuff anymore. I like really want to get into like music videos and filmmaking and different aspects of shooting, not interviews. And so he goes, well, you should meet this lady, Karen Civil. And even though I know you don't want to do interviews, like you should work with her. She's really cool. I think you guys will hit it off. And so I go, okay, fine. So we go down there, do a shoot. It's fucking awesome. We interviewed like Currency. This is like so long
Damn,
ago.
Fly Society. Yeah, back in the day.
He was so high. It
Yeah.
was good. Yeah. And so we do an interview with him, and then sure enough, she liked the footage, and she asked me to do it again. So my wife and I go out, boom, shoot it again. And then again and again and again and again. And this happens for like a year and a half, 2 years. And then I kind of like got a little burnt out on that too, you know, just like shooting studio. Like we were in the studio with Khaled, we were in the studio with 2 Chainz, we were in the studio with French Montana, like meeting all these artists before they popped off. And you know, one day I just like kind of hit a low point where I was like, I need to do more. Like I have to do more. I just have this weird thing in me where I gotta like I learn, absorb, and then I get to the point where like, oh shit, I'm not learning anymore. I gotta get on to the next thing. So I call Karen and I go, hey, you know, like I'm down to like keep shooting and working and doing whatever you want, but like, is there anything that like you could maybe help me out with to like for my creative outlets, right? Like just to be creative, and man, it just feels good to be creative sometimes, right?
Hell yeah.
She goes, what do you want? And I was like, you know, it'd be cool to like direct a music video. And she goes, okay, cool, but like, what else do you want? Like, what do you want? And I was like, well, it'd be really cool to like have a production company someday. She goes, give me 5 minutes.
5 minutes?
Yeah. 5 minutes. Like she was a very powerful person.
Wow.
She's still a very powerful person.
Yeah.
And so 5 minutes later, she calls me and she goes, okay, Mike, so there's this artist, Ty Dolla $ign, and he has a new album. And I'm thinking there's 2 songs. One is with Wiz Khalifa and the other one is Juicy J. And I'm going, okay. And she goes, but you need to pick one because then I can like, whatever, I'll work out
maneuver
it properly. And so, dude, it took me 2 seconds. I'm like a skate, like, come on, 3-6. Like, you know, growing up skating, that's all you listen to. And I put that shit in all my skate videos. So I was like, okay, no brainer, Juicy J.
Yep.
Cool. Sounds good. And by the way, I'm going to get you a meeting at Beats. And I go, oh, word. Cool. So within like a month, I directed that video and started working at Beats. Like it was that, like it just, boom.
That
there you
quick.
go. Yeah, like you're in. Thank you for hustling. Here's the opportunity.
Damn.
Yeah, it was
hard
crazy.
work pays off,
yeah,
baby.
It was crazy. Like I didn't complain. You know what I mean? Like Cassandra and I were running around town shooting at like 3 a.m. and getting the video live at 7 a.m. It's just what we did. Like
Damn.
I didn't even understand what I was doing at the time. I was like, I like filmmaking. Cool.
Yeah.
But it ended up paying off. Yeah. It
Dude.
was cool. But thank God for Justin Hogan. Shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Shout out to
Yeah,
Justin Hogan.
Thank
Dude,
you. Yeah, thank you.
wow.
Yeah.
So you get this music video with Juicy J and Ty Dolla $ign, who are two. I mean, Juicy J already. Ty Dolla $ign this is a while ago, so he wasn't as big as he is now.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yo. So I like was really naive, and you know, so then she gets me the video, brokers the deal, and I'm like, so how much money do we have to like do this video? And she's like, oh, like $1,000. And I go, okay, cool. So I like knew that like I couldn't do that much with $1,000 at that time. And so I looked at my bank account and I had like $6,500 in that bank account. So by the time I was done with the video, I had $100 in my bank account.
Whoa.
And it was the best investment I ever made in my entire life.
Ever.
The video is terrible. But what it did was I learned from it. Like I learned how to set up a music video, what went wrong, why was the lighting whatever, what happened with the story. Like there were so many things that I just absorbed on that set that day because it was my money. And in turn, like the next video I got was better because I learned from all the mistakes I made with my own money.
Well, dude, I remember you were posting about that though on your social media, whether it was MySpace at that time or Instagram or Facebook, whatever platform it was. That's when I saw you working. I was like, this fool is working with Juicy J now? I was like, what in the fuck? Like, this is amazing. And then
cool.
It started to progress. And I love hip hop music as you do. And I saw Problem.
Mm-hmm.
And like, he did that song, like, what? You know, that song was gangster. I saw you start working with him.
Mm-hmm.
You've done videos now with Jay Outlaw, which we were talking about.
Yeah. Shout out Jay Outlaw.
Shout out Jay Outlaw. We're definitely going to touch on him for sure. And then also, but like you did all the opening videos for one of the people that I thought was really crazy was the Beyonce World Tour. But you got to talk to Jeezy. You got to talk to Migos.
Oh, yeah.
And we were talking about that before the podcast. It's like, dude, around that time when we were growing up, Jeezy, especially like Thug Motivation 101,
come on.
Like, yo, that...
Everybody that I met on that tour were like the dudes that I loved. Like I would just, you know, come on, you put the speaker on and you blast the music and you skate for hours. Like everybody on that tour was the music that I listened to as a kid. An exception for the Migos. Like they popped off a little later.
Yeah, a little bit later.
Yeah.
But do you, when you're doing, I mean, now that you've had experience with this and these people that you're working with, do you ever inside kind of fan out, or is it just strictly business?
That's a good question. I've only got nervous once.
Really?
And it's really weird that I got nervous. It was Rick Ross.
Really?
Yeah. Because like I literally, like when I was all fucked up, like on my surgery and shit.
Yeah.
Like I just had his CD just like on loop for like 3 years straight. Like I never took that shit out. It was him and Lil Wayne. So Rick Ross was like the dude. When I got to meet him, I got nervous. Yeah, that was the only one.
Him and Lil Wayne. Did you do the John video?
No, I've never. Lil Wayne. I wish I shot Lil Wayne. Lil Wayne's like obviously the GOAT. Like he's the best. But I would just say Rick Ross and Lil Wayne were my two favorites.
Oh, okay.
And Juicy.
Yeah, of course.
All right, top three.
Did you get to work with Rick Ross or like?
No, it was like an interview. It was some like little thing, but like
okay.
for some reason, like my heart started beating. I was like, oh shit, like this is cool. This is really cool.
With Weezy, did you like? Oh, he skates, you know?
Nah, I didn't. I never even talked. Like I've been in the room with him a couple times, but never talked to him.
Dude, they're the second person now that's been on the show that's actually like been there or talked to him, because Shuriken was on the show, and Shuriken was like, he had told me a story about how like Wayne would call him at like 3 a.m. and be like, hey, you want to skate? And then they would like go skate and like, you know, smoke spliffs or blunts or whatever. And then like Shuriken was on his tour when they fucking did like he would have like skaters behind him. And I was like, bro, what the fuck? Like,
that's dope.
There's like quarter pipes going back and forth on the stage, and like Shuriken has photos, and I'm like, that's so random. Like, how the fuck? And then again, Rick Ross is now the second time it's been brought up on the podcast, because Bowers, he had talked about, he had met him once, but like through the studio or whatever. But very interesting. That's cool. Both of those are the guys that kind of made you feel that way. Because when I watched, there was a video I watched last night of doing the Wiz Khalifa. I forgot the tour name, but it was like Wiz and all the dudes that were on his tour, and you were interviewing them, and I'm like, dude.
Oh yeah, that's my friend Chris Valona. He was like getting all these videos from Live Nation. And so like he was plugged in with Live Nation, and he would be like, Mike, come on, like let's go shoot this shit. So I was like traveling around with Chris doing all these awesome videos, and like that was a cool video to shoot. And Chris was like been in the game forever. He was like shooting MTV shit for like 15 years. So anytime he'd run into an artist, it was all love. He would like give him high fives and handshakes, and it was just cool. Yeah, it was just cool because we were in the room because Chris had already had like established this like comfort level with the artist. So it was really nice working with Chris. Shout out Chris Valona.
You're coming in and they're like, oh, if you're with him.
Yeah, like it's cool.
It's
cool. Yeah. You can do your job like
tight.
Yeah.
Damn. So do you feel like maybe artists would be more open to you? Like they wouldn't feel as like maybe shut off or like.
Yeah, I mean, so if it's easier when you have somebody with you that knows them already. Obviously. You know, and I'm kind of like an introvert. Like I like if I really know you, like I'll tell you anything. Yeah. Right. But like if I don't know you, like I'm not gonna like walk up and
like, yo, what's up?
Yeah. Like try to act like I know you. I don't know you. Shit. Yeah.
Dude. Now one of the things, one of the artists that I definitely have, been really hyped over the years that you've been working with is Trinidad James.
Yeah. He's my favorite.
Dude, I was watching his videos, especially the ones that you directed. There's like Black Santa 2, Disrespectful. The newest one that just came out like a week ago.
Woo Woo. Which is crazy because this year, boom, sidetrack, sorry, but like my wife and I, like my wife is like super creative, super talented. Like she just complements what I do so well. So like it's a no brainer. Like this year, anything we care about, we're directing together. Right?
Sick.
So like that was like the first like, okay, let's do it. So her and I teamed up, and then Trinidad, obviously, like he's a director too, so he like comes in with all the cool ideas, and I just think that we all complement each other's styles really well.
Sick.
And so I felt like that video, Woo Woo, was like, it was a good experience because creative relationships are rare. Yeah. Like people that you can really be creative with. And so like I have my wife and I have Trinidad, and we're all down to get creative and just go for it and trust each other. Like that's one of the better experiences I've had making a video.
Do you wait till you're like on set to be creative, or do you guys like sit around like a table like this and be like, hey, we got these ideas, what do you think about this? Or like, and then kind of feed off each other?
Well, that one specific, it's different for every video, right? Okay, yeah. Sometimes he has an idea and he's like, let's go, and I'm like, all right, cool. And then specifically that one, Woo Woo, was, man, I must have sent in 10 treatments, like 10 ideas that I was thinking. I always wanted to do like a vintage throwback concert, but he wanted it with like a modern twist. And then he has this other friend, Pat Cassidy, who's like just really creative and smart. And he was like, you need to tell a story. Like, don't just shoot this guy have a concert. So then we came up with the story of like seeing an artist, kind of two sides of an artist, right?
Mm-hmm.
You have this side that like nobody knows, right? The one that like only his personal friends maybe would know this side of him. Trinidad is not like the guy in the video. He was acting, of course, but like, there are artists who are like probably pretty fucked up.
Yeah, he's put on the persona. Like when he walks in, like the first thing you see, he's like hour and a half late.
Yeah.
And then the guy's like, what the fuck? And he's in the bathroom and he's doing these things, but then he pulls it together and then he comes out and performs.
And the second the light turns on and the curtain opens, he turns into this beast, right?
Yeah.
He can dance, he can sing, he can do his shit. And I just feel like that might be the truth for certain people, where what you see on stage may not be the person that you see if you really knew them, right?
Yeah, the persona that they've exemplified.
Yeah, and like people are like cheering on, like glorifying drug use and shit. Like, why do people glorify that? Like, why are you applaud? Like, I had like shots of the people applauding, right? And like to me, that was essentially like they're okay with you being a fuck up. They want you to fuck up. Like, why? So like that story was important, I feel like, to tell, especially right now.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Now, you've touched on this a couple times, is the storytelling. When you're doing these videos, like, I mean, you went from skateboarding where you kind of are telling a story, but it's this person's story of their talent, essentially, right? How have you dealt with making that transition to basically putting it in a music video, like Woo Woo or a problem video or something?
It's so hard. I feel like, unfortunately, I feel like up to the point of doing Woo Woo, like my storytelling skills haven't really been fully, like I haven't fully like tapped into that. And like, I know now, like I know what I need to do. I know how to do it and I'm going to do it. And everything I do from here on will be better than the last thing I did.
That's buttery.
Yeah.
So would you say you do them like a storyboard layout maybe?
Yeah. Like you write like the story points you want to hit, right? And then what story do you want to tell? And then you try to figure out how to get there. Like shit, I have this room over here. I was sitting in that room for fucking 6 weeks straight, like talking to no one, hiding out in there with the door closed, writing a 100-page script. Like you just have to do it. Like you just have to sit there and figure it out. And everything has to come out of your brain, which is the fucked up part. So like sometimes you gotta like, I would like run on the treadmill or whatever and be like trying to type and run at the same time. Like getting like when you get your blood flowing, then your brain starts working and it goes in circles and then whatever, I don't know.
Dude, no, I like, dude, expand on that, please. Because like, as a creative myself, I mean, making all this right here come to fruition, what we're doing, having this conversation with the podcast is like, I'll be on, because, I mentioned I've broken my back. So I always ride the recumbent bike to warm up my legs. And like, that way it's never any stress on my back. But if I have something on my mind, I just need to go in there and I get into this flow state where like, I don't know how to describe it, like blocks out. And then I just like, things will start coming to me. And like, I zone out and I'm thinking like, I'll be looking in one spot and then all of a sudden like an idea will come, boom, boom, boom. And we were talking about this too, about certain artists you want to work with. You just say it like 1,000 times in your head and you put it out there. And it's not like maybe necessarily being spiritual but you're just putting it out there.
That's all I do. Every day I think, what do I want to do? And then I say it over and over. Like it probably happens like 10 times a day. What am I going to do? And then I have to act on it. And then I eventually get it. I don't think I've ever failed on that.
Like, is it I mean, for people who might be listening, it's not just like The Secret where you're just like, I'm just going to put it out there. You have to work your fucking ass off.
You have to do the work. Come on, like I took all my own money and threw it at the music video and did it.
Yeah.
Like what's crazy about the Juicy J video that I did was at 22, after the knee surgery, I'm sitting over at Sean McNulty's house, right? And I'm sitting there and I'm watching a really shitty Juicy J video. It's the one where he's like playing video games and the girls are around him. And I'm like, it was the first time I looked at a music video and I go, I could do that. I could do that. And so I told myself over and over again, Juicy J, like that's the video I have in my head. And then sure enough, first video I got, Juicy J. Like it just works like that. I don't know why, but it happens over and over again to me. Like boom, look at the floor right here. This shit's cement. I envisioned that. I thought about that for 3 years.
Really?
Yeah, I got bad allergies. I don't want a carpet. Yeah,
Such a cheat. You would never think like the way he's applying his success to in everything else he does. He's like, yeah, I did it to my floor as well. Look at this bitch. Hey, that's tight, dude. Dude, that's amazing. So like, do you think it is maybe a combination of hard work plus putting it out into the universe?
Yeah, you got to put it out you got to know what you want, right? And then you got to apply yourself and actually execute and take the steps. I mean, I'm sure there are situations where like you could say it over and over again and do all the work and not win. Just like sometimes you play your cards wrong, like when you play poker or whatever. Like sometimes you just don't play your cards right, or sometimes you get in the way of yourself executing these ideas and goals.
That's a big one.
Yeah, that's one of the biggest ones.
Dude, do you think you've done that so far in your industry? Like at any point, have you gotten in your own way?
Oh, every day.
Every day.
Every fucking day. Yeah, every day. Yeah, every day.
Man.
You just get distracted with normal life stuff, and because you are a human being, so you have to be human first, and then you can go create.
Dude.
Yeah.
So what? What was the lady's name that gave you the 5 minutes? That said 5 minutes.
Karen Civil.
Karen Civil.
Yeah.
Was it her who helped you start your own company, or like what? At what point did you want to start?
There were a couple things that happened. Well, obviously, like my wife and I were both shooting videos, like small interviews and B-roll and behind the scenes and little music videos, and it got to the point where we were both booked so much that we looked at each other and we're like, it's about time. And I noticed that whenever I worked with a corporate client of mine, it was always a day rate. You get a day rate, $500, $300, $600, depending what you're doing. And this is really cool that somebody did this for me, but I was like shooting behind the scenes on a commercial, and I was friends with the person who was in charge of the commercial. And she goes, "What do you think this costs?" And so I like started like accounting in my head, like this is what it costs to do this, and I'm just like guessing, right? And I look at her, she goes, "What do you think?" And I go, 30,000. And she goes, times 10. And I go, so it was 300,000 for this commercial? She goes, yeah. And I go, I want a check like that. Like, how do I get a check like that? And she goes, well, I work at like a corporate company. A corporate company can't write Mike Marasco a check for $300,000. It's not going to happen. Like, there's like a lot of legal, like you got to have workers' comp, insurance, general liability. Like, you got to be an established business.
Mm-hmm.
And so then I start doing some research, and I had another friend who like kind of gave me some advice of like where to start. And then Cassandra and I just like buckled down and did it. Yeah. Damn. She's my wife's smart, dude. I owe everything to her, right? She like can manage my brain and calm me down, and like basically like my brain is very like 1, 7, 3, 2, sit. Like she's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So she helps complement, like she helps tame my brain.
There you go.
Yeah. And
you're
she's
definitely
just so
the creative type.
Well, she's even more creative than I am. That's the crazy thing. So like now it's like, it's game over. Like we're about to do this movie. It's game over. Like done.
Dude.
Yeah. I'm going to do one and done.
Dude. Okay. You keep touching on that movie. Let's talk about it.
Okay.
So you locked yourself in this office over here for 6 weeks and wrote a movie.
Yes. And I don't write. I do not write like 100-page scripts. No, I write like a 5-page story or like a 3-page treatment or a 6-page thing. Like, no, I wrote 100 pages and I don't write, and I'm not trained to write. But the thing is, I knew that I just had to do the work, because was somebody going to write something for you and then somebody's going to magically give you $1 million and you're going to go shoot it? Nah, it's never going to happen. Maybe for someone, not me.
Yeah.
I know it's not going to happen. So I wanted to approach it in a way where like, I want to make a movie that 100 years from now, somebody's going to remake that movie. So like I approached it a little different, right? And then this is crazy. So my wife and I, she knows that I love like scary things, like horror movies, haunted houses, and she goes, on your birthday, we're gonna go to Horror Nights at Universal.
Okay.
And so I go, okay, but I want to get really scared. And so she goes, okay, what do you think? And I go, let's get a bag of mushrooms. Yeah. So, but this inspired like the whole shit. So boom, 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 ate the mushrooms, boom, we're walking around the haunted houses, and I'm looking around just like, there are thousands of people waiting 4 hours to walk through a 30-second haunted house, right?
Mm-hmm.
Why? Because they love the character attached to that haunted house. And so then a light bulb went off, and I go, why the fuck can't I make the next character that everybody loves and everybody will want to line up and go to the haunted house, and somebody will remake the movie 20 times over, like Halloween H2O or whatever.
Yeah.
You know? Like Halloween 50. That shit will go to 50. Someday there'll be a 50th film.
Yeah.
Like
or Jason in Space and shit like that.
Exactly. Yeah. So like I love horror films. It has always been a goal to like make the new guy, and that just like solidified the idea like it's a possibility and it can happen and I will do it. So boom, I'm taking the steps to make it happen.
Damn.
Mm-hmm. And then shout out Blake Hawk, who is helping me with the rewrite right now to present it in a professional way, because my brain is a little all over the place.
Yeah. Understandable.
Yeah.
So what's the move with that? I mean, are you going to be doing that this year? Are you going to be? Is it next year?
We'll see.
Whenever.
Yeah. I'm gonna like send it to a couple people, see if they want to throw down. If they don't want to throw down, I'm gonna do it myself and fund it and just make it happen.
Dude,
I just have to do it.
such a boss.
Yeah.
Dude.
And if I fail, cool. It'll be like the most expensive education I've ever had in my life.
Fuck it.
Yeah.
You don't ever lose. You learn or you win.
Yeah, I've gone down to zero a couple times. You just got to make the investment, and if it doesn't work, you learn. You go on to the next. So I'm gonna do it.
Dude.
Yeah.
Wow.
It'll be cool.
That's fucking inspirational right there, Mike. But
We'll
like,
see.
what drives you?
I don't know. It's like a personal thing inside me that like I just have to one up myself. Like I have to one up myself.
Oh, you
like,
kickflip the stairs already.
Yeah, no, you know I gotta go to
backside
9.
flip.
Yeah, I gotta go now. Oh, now 10. Shit, I couldn't do the 10. Well, maybe I'll try to tray flip this other thing, or try it on a ledge, or flip out, or flip in, or what. Like I don't know. Maybe it just came from skating.
Yeah.
Like you fail and you do it again, or you just want to outdo yourself. I have to outdo myself.
Do you feel that, especially because like, with the things that you're working with, whether it's cameras, whether it's lenses, whether it's artists, there's a heavy price tag, and it's not just your body that you're paying with and your own personal dime. You're messing around with like large amounts of money. Do you ever feel like the pressure kills the creativeness?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All the time.
All
like
the
you
time.
want to like. What I've learned this past year is to separate yourself financially from creative projects. So like if there's something really creative that like you really want to do and somebody's going to give you a shit ton of money to do it, don't touch the money. You have no reason to touch the money. Give the money to somebody else to manage and let them do it. Because if you got to start thinking about payroll, workers' comp, insurance, the new AB5 law, W4s, and 1099, like, nah. Don't go into your project doing that. Have somebody else do that for you, because then you can focus on the creativity.
Damn. All right.
I learned that recently.
Yeah. Well, dude, you have a lot to manage. I mean, I'm just setting up your cameras, like the ones we have right now. It's that in itself is a job. To do that, and then to be present while you're trying to create, and then also direct to the people that you're doing, because you're not just a director. You're director of photography. You're director of
producer, director,
editor.
Yeah, a little bit of everything. You just got to be able to do a little bit of everything so you understand every department.
Damn.
Yeah.
Do you prefer working on music videos as opposed to maybe doing like a full project, like a movie, like a full?
Well, I have never done my own movie, so I don't know. But I have a feeling that what I'm excited about over music videos, a lot of time music videos are collaborative and projects should be collaborative. But like the thing about the movie is like it came out of my brain, period. Like I'm not going to contort or twist it for anyone. Like it's my story. It's the story I want to tell. With a music video, it's awesome to collaborate with people, but sometimes you don't always agree on things.
Yeah.
And you want to do something a little different, and then you got to like find a good I like explained it to like a DP the other day. He was like, you need to color it this way. And I'm like, no, the artist is like wants to color it this way. And basically as a director, sometimes the best way of approaching things is like, you're going to have to let everybody down a little bit. So instead of really fucking someone up, you just let everybody down a little bit, like 10% lit down, instead of somebody getting 100% lit down. Yeah, it's weird. Yeah, it's really weird.
Dude, that's very interesting. I mean, and so you working with music videos, you do a lot of those. You're about to do your own movie, but then also like when I was checking out your body of work, I mean, you do stuff with Anejo Tequila. You've done stuff with Ciroc. You've done.
Shout out Kato. Well, Kaito, but I've been calling him Kato for 3 years. So
Kaito.
Yeah, Kaito.
These those are big name companies that everybody knows. If you're on social media, if you're just in general, you see that all the time. And then also, but it's really cool is what I thought was like you work with like Nordstrom, and then you also worked with Vogue.
That's my wife.
Oh, that's.
I help her with it, but she's the one that pulling those clients. Like,
okay.
Yeah.
Dude, but I mean, like,
she's a hustler.
I couldn't believe it. I mean, under our
company,
under
our
company. I mean, your body of work is really exceptional. But then, very, very, I thought was very, very nice. And there was the Kirby Crew Circa collab.
Yeah.
Dude, that was hella sick too. Was that you, or is that also your wife?
No.
That was definitely
skating was my shit.
Okay.
Yeah.
But dude, like, what is it? I mean, are you on set, or is that your wife like fully doing like the Vogue and
no? So what we do is like sometimes there's 2 shoots in a day, right? So like she'll pull in a client, I'll pull in a client, and then we're like, oh crap, we don't get to hang out today. Like, shit, what do we do? And then we'll go through the list of all the guys that we love working with, and we'll come up with a solution so that we can still execute both jobs the same day. So like I think the Vogue thing, I don't know. I think she did that one herself.
Jeffrey something.
Oh no, we did that together.
Okay.
Yeah, but she pulled that. she pulled that job.
Dude, that was very interesting because like I watched the commercial or segment, whatever it was, and he's like frozen and all these things. And at the end, he's walking. And I was like, I wonder what the purpose of that was. Was that supposed to be photo imitating real life?
Nah. So what's kind of interesting about that is there's this dude, Albie Daniels, who is he wrote this song called Straight. And at the end of the song, he goes, "Let me hit you with a mannequin." And like, it just naturally happened. He like froze in the music video when we were shooting it. And we were like, damn, like it just felt powerful, right? It felt editorial, but the cameras, it like didn't make any sense. So then I shoot this, whatever, fashion video. And Cassandra and I go, dude, we need to like do something similar. Like sometimes you just show up to a shoot and they like, you walk in, you don't know what you're doing that day. And then they're like, okay, this is the talent. This is the clothing, make it look good. And we're like, okay, shit, we're just going to pull the inspiration from Albie's video. And then what's really interesting about that is the mannequin challenge popped up. Inspired by us, I don't know.
Damn, that's crazy.
I mean, inspired by Albie, dude. Albie's a fucking legend.
Yeah. Wow, that's fucking incredible. Because like when I was looking at these things, I was like, just the difference in contrast between your video work was very. It's like, wow, he really has kind of like branched out. But then knowing also with your wife as well, I mean, that's really cool. I also had when I had like Googled your name or not on YouTube, I should say. You also were like on the White Iverson music video.
Yeah. So that one, I helped shoot it. Like loaned him a camera, did like a little day play on it. My friend, Chris Valona and James were like the leads on that, and then James ended up becoming like Post Malone's personal director. So he did like the Psycho video and a couple other videos that were really. Him and Chris did Go Flex. That one was pretty dope too.
Okay.
So I was on Go Flex. I got to help shoot some of that.
Dude, that's right. Because I had posted that video. It's like sometimes I really like one of my little favorite things to do on Instagram is like I'll just videotape the music videos that I'm watching because I like them, and then you'll respond to certain ones that I'm like, oh, what the fuck, like that's sick. Did you do the congratulations video too?
I was there. I was there. I didn't do I can't take credit for anything Post Malone, but I was there and I lended a hand and was a part of the production team.
That's cool, man. Like, I am such a music fan that like when these songs really play, like dude, at my wedding I had congratulations playing. Yeah. So then I see that I got like to know that you're like as somewhat a part of it or you were there and doing these things is like, holy shit, bro. Like do you even like ever stop and think sometimes like what I'm doing, it could affect somebody's life in a way that it's like your vision of that person's song, and then you put it out on YouTube or you put it out like for whatever platform it is, and somebody watches it and does it ever cross your mind that maybe that person is watching that video like multiple times a day or every day or throughout their life, and they're like, damn, I need to see this, and then it was because of your work.
So the only reason why I even understand that idea is like when I would film skate tricks, everybody would hover, like, boom, the dude lands a trick after like 100 tries. And then everybody storms around the camera and like watches the playback and everybody freaks out and gets excited. And it's like it's like a better adrenaline rush than even landing a trick. So like, it's kind of the same idea. Like I do this thing. Unfortunately, I don't get to witness the excitement that other people are having for the project. I wish I could. Yeah.
Dude, that's so real because that's so true. I mean, if you've skateboarded and you've ever watched your homie land the trick, like, or even if you're at the premiere, like of any video and you're watching it, you're just like, holy shit, I was there. I saw that happen. Like, oh my, and everybody loses their mind.
Yeah.
I mean, there's no better feeling. I mean,
nothing.
It's always interesting though, because like if you ever meet other creatives and like cinematographers, especially, sometimes they're not like the most open people.
Yeah, say it.
Yeah. I mean, like they're just weird sometimes, but and they're like closed off. You are not that way. You're very open. You're very like.
Well, I like to give people advice. Like I like to, if people ask me questions, I'll answer and give them my honest opinion.
Yeah.
Maybe it's the teacher in me or something. I don't know.
Do you feel that, even though things are progressing at a rapid pace, especially with technology and what you're doing professionally and what you've made your living off of, with these younger kids who have different insights and different views, do you feel that even though they might be surpassing you or they're better than you, as you had put it, do you feel like you still have a lot to offer them in experience and knowledge?
Yeah. They're like, you could be the most creative dude in the room, right? but like you might not know how to run a business. You might not know that you gotta save 48% for taxes. Like you might not know that like that dude who's working that day, you're liable for his unemployment if he gets hurt or doesn't want to work tomorrow, and then you're out thousands of dollars. Like I've gone through all of this stuff. So like me, that's kind of something that I do give advice and offer to younger filmmakers that want me to produce stuff.
Damn. Yeah. Do you feel that like what was maybe one of your favorite projects that you've done to date?
I'll tell you the coolest experience I've had on a set.
Okay.
So Kaito, he goes, Mike, we got like, I'm not going to say the dollar amount. It was like, hey, just like come over and help me shoot this like bottle in a garage. And I'm like, okay, like I will help shoot this bottle of alcohol. And he told me how much money he had. And I go, cool. We'll just like spend it on lighting. Like you and I will just like play around with the lights and like make a cool video of the bottle. So I go over and we're at Puffy's house and in his garage and we're shooting this bottle and Puffy comes out and he goes, it looks good, but it could look better. And I'm going, what do we do? And so Kato and I, like, there was like a pizza box. And so like we cut the pizza box into like little squares and we started like killing the reflections on the bottle. Like there'd be like a little ping of light like right here. So we'd like cut the pizza box and like put a little cardboard right here so that like the reflection would... Basically, Puffy forced us to make, not forced us, motivated us and pushed us to make the best possible video we could in his garage. And then the next day, Kato calls me and he goes, bro, he loved the video. He's like, and he wants to see what we can do with like a real budget. And now we're going to shoot the next Ciroc commercial.
Real budget?
Yeah. Okay. So like we shot like the crate, so basically I would say that maybe was my favorite shoot, working with Kato on this commercial in a studio with like the craziest lighting team of all time and like little mirrors and little flags and lights, and it's called the Fingers and Dots kit, and basically learning how to shoot product with a robotic head, like this camera that like floats around the product and moves around. So like I learned so much on that shoot. It was the most valuable shoot I've ever had as far as knowledge and shooting product. 'Cause I was not trained as a product guy, but like throw a product at me, I guarantee you I'll make the best video.
Dude, that's interesting.
Yeah, really weird. Like sometimes you just fall into this thing.
Dude, I mean, did that kind of translate to that like what was that, the Apple DJ thing that you did with Khaled?
So that was directed by my friend Ivan.
Okay.
Who, this is so cool because rewind a little bit. I went on tour with Beyonce in 2015, 2016 with my wife, Cassandra. And so on that tour, all the artists are coming through to open up for her. And what's interesting is a lot of times as a filmmaker, you just have to wait for the right moment. So like I'm sitting in the hallways waiting. Boom, I meet Ivan, DJ Khaled's personal guy, right? And then Ivan is like a blossoming filmmaker who's like also like me, going to outdo himself and one-up himself every time. So he was the one who got the Apple commercial. And he goes, Mike, can you shoot it? Of course I'm going to shoot it. And he goes, can you bring the anamorphic lenses? I go, of course I'm going to bring the anamorphic lenses. And we shot it. It was like, that was a really fun project. Anything with Ivan is the best thing ever.
Dude, is that how you also did the like that preview of the video for the top down? The DJ Khaled one?
Yeah. That same thing. He calls me. He goes, I want to shoot this music video. Can you help set it up? Yeah, of course I'm going to help set it up. I want to. I love doing that shit.
Dude.
Yeah. And he's so creative. It's fucking awesome to work with him.
Dude, that's... What about working? I mean, I know we touched on it with Trinidad, but watching what he does and this persona that he personifies, it's very interesting because he went from like the all gold on my chain, it's like 34 million views. And then you see like, at this point, he has all of his own creative content. He's getting paid probably, I'm assuming, from YouTube because it's all his own music. Mm-hmm. He generates everything. He has a team, Raw Media House. I don't even think we said the name, but like, Raw Media House. And then you're getting plugs on everything. What is it like to work with him? I mean, I'm assuming he definitely personifies.
Like what's cool about him is he's very intelligent, very creative. We're both Libras. We have the same exact sense of humor. And what's cool about him is he's an artist and an entertainer. I wouldn't call him a rapper, right? So he knows what he wants to do. And it's not just like standing around rapping, doing a shitty video. Like he wants to make an impact. He wants to tell a story and he wants to have fun. Like he wants to laugh on set and have a good time, you know?
Yeah.
So it's really cool working with somebody who's just on the same level with me. Like I'm a fucking, I love to laugh. Fuck. If you're not laughing, what the hell are you doing?
Dude, right?
Yeah,
I
like,
feel
come
the
on.
same
So
exact
like
way.
anything I do is either going to be funny or scary. That's it.
Dude, I definitely like the, it was Disrespectful when he's
Yeah,
walking
so
out with the leather
funny,
jacket with the
dude.
black leather. It's like snakeskin or alligator skin or something like that.
It was like a Saint Laurent jacket or something. Like
Dude.
probably the most expensive jacket I've ever touched in my life. You know, I just like put a finger on it. It's crazy.
Dude, and he's like just flipping it and he's just like, nah. And then he's like wearing his gold grills and his gold rings. And I'm just like, dude, this fucker is so legit.
Yeah,
and
so
the
dope.
lyrics are so raw.
I feel like that's like one of the most underrated songs of all time.
Dude, that one, Black Santa 2.
Black Santa 1 and 2.
I didn't watch
Both
the first
hilarious.
one. Dude,
The first one is shits on the second one.
really?
Yeah, I mean, I think so. Second one we did because it was like, yo, it's a couple days before Christmas. Let's bang this thing out. But the first one was like fully developed the idea and whatever.
Dude,
that's cool.
I loved it. I love that. And then, there was another one that I watched. Oh, it was Woo Woo for sure.
Mm-hmm.
And then what was another one?
Trying to think which other ones we did.
I'm trying to remember too, but like there's so many good
Oh,
videos.
Dad. Did you see Dad where he turns into an old man?
No.
Oh, that's probably, yeah.
I'll have to watch that.
He's like in a gold wheelchair and he doesn't even need it. He just like walks around the house but sits in it for some reason. It's funny. It's funny. Yeah. It's cool.
Dude, that's amazing. So like, do you see like definitely keeping that relationship going? Like,
oh yeah,
working with him?
he is in my movie. He is
in your
he's
movie.
the killer in the, well shit, I can't give away too much, but yeah, he's like definitely, he doesn't even have one line in the movie. He just goes around and fucks people up. Mm-hmm.
Damn.
Yeah.
So I'm assuming you've talked to them about this already.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. He knows that like I want to make horror films. So like,
Dude, that's sick.
yeah.
And he's from Atlanta, right?
Trinidad.
Yeah, Trinidad.
Mhm. Yeah, but then he I forget if he went somewhere in the middle, but he ended up in Atlanta for a long
Okay, that's
time.
what it was.
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
I was watching of course, if you listen to his music, just a little thick. He's like, I'm from
Yeah.
if she ain't from Atlanta, like something like that. Like I was just like, oh, sick. Like such a talking about entertaining. And that's why I was like, when I saw you guys, like you're doing most of like his videos now, you look at him as an artist or an individual or an entertainer and it's like, he's got this crazy fucking hair or his
Always got
lyrics
good
are
hair.
crazy. Yeah. Or like
Mhm.
gold grills, gold rings, like wearing that jacket. I mean, the dude brings attention to himself. He knows
Mhm.
what to do, but it's also very entertaining in the sense where you're bringing it to life.
Yeah.
Is he like that normally, or is he just like when you're?
Oh no,
with him
his name
normally?
is Nick Williams. Like he's like a normal dude that is also into the entertaining and creating art.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Dude, that's very interesting because I was
Yeah.
like, I was thinking this last night when I was watching the videos because like the lyrics matched the content that you were creating, and I was like, I wonder how much of this is actually his daily life, or if it's just this is.
I mean, he loves clothes. He loves getting his hair done. He
Okay.
loves gold. Like,
Yeah.
well, he does love all that shit.
Yeah.
Yeah. But he can go a
Separate
little. Yeah.
himself.
But he can go the extra mile during a video shoot.
So do you ever has there ever been any like sketchy situations that you've been in with, especially maybe with being involved with so many rappers, or in general, I guess it's shooting anything?
We had like a knife pulled out on us shooting skating at like uni high or
Yep.
whatever. Like,
Yeah.
but no, I've been pretty lucky. I mean, I've been in some situations like, oh, this is good. I go to shit. I don't know if I can say names. Well, it's.
You don't have to say
I
names.
won't say any names. I go to Texas and I am gonna meet up with a bunch of musicians, and whatever. I walk in the room and everybody's all cool, nothing weird. And then I go to the bathroom, and I'm like pissing, and like I've never stopped mid pee before. Like I stopped mid pee because all I hear is like boom, 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 like the loudest gun I've ever. And I like and run out the door, and everybody's laughing at me. I'm like, what the fuck was that? And they're all holding like these like the biggest guns I've ever seen them. I'm like, what the fuck is that? But apparently out there you can have guns and shoot whenever the fuck you want. So I
They're
don't
just
know.
popping off guns.
Yeah, they're just popping off in the back alley. Yeah, because it was fun or whatever. I don't like being around guns. I'm not into that.
Dude,
Yeah.
that's crazy.
Yeah.
Where's the most exotic place that you've ever been because of this?
Oh, because of filmmaking?
Yeah.
Well, I'll say my favorite place I've ever been because of filmmaking was Amsterdam. And then
Amsterdam.
Barcelona. Well, Amsterdam, skating for Barcelona, and
Yep.
then like just like having a good time. Amsterdam. Easy, yeah.
Damn.
Second best day of my life besides getting married. Yeah.
Damn. All
Mhm.
right.
Yeah.
Damn, dude. How long you been married now?
2 years? Yeah,
2
almost
years?
3. Almost 3, yeah.
Damn. Congratulations.
Thank
bro.
you.
Fuck
Thank you.
yeah.
Yeah.
Dude, where'd you get married at?
So we ran off and went to Mexico.
Ooh.
Yeah, quick. Because basically, I just wanted to like keep it me and her to like enjoy the moment and then come home and throw a crazy party. Yeah. So we had like
Nice.
100 people at our party, had a great time. But I just wanted to have that moment with her, by
Damn,
ourselves. Yeah.
that's epic, bro.
Yeah, it was cool.
Did you put that out there too? Like when you were like talking about what you're putting out there?
You know what's weird is before I met her, the relationships I had before that had been relationships that weren't creative at all, and like we weren't into the same stuff. And so I immediately like in my head was like, man, I'd love to meet someone who's creative. I'd love to meet somebody who's in the same field of work and has the same passions that I do. And then sure enough, she popped up.
Do you think that's essential to having a successful relationship? Like being like having those same interests? I mean, in a sense,
I don't know, because I see a lot of other people, they're complete opposites and like it works fine.
Yeah.
I just like, for me, it's like the icing on the cake. Like I love her, and then the fact that we can like work together and hang out all the time, like come on.
Do you feel like that you might butt heads sometimes?
Yeah,
because
all the
you have
time.
to work with each
Yeah,
other
we
and
butt
live
heads.
with each other?
Of course we butt heads, but if you are in a relationship and you don't butt heads, I don't know who the fuck you're with. Right? Like how could you not butt heads? You're gonna butt heads, but you compromise and you find solutions to your problems, and that's it. Yeah.
Yeah, because you're like essentially like 24/7. It's like living, working, breathing, doing fun shit together. It's like, yo, there's no break.
No.
But that's
cool.
It's chill.
Yeah, I mean, I get out, go hang out with my friends here and there, like when I have time to.
Yeah.
We all love doing that.
Dude.
So yeah, I get my alone time.
Dude, that's what's up.
Yeah.
Fuck yeah. So tell me, the one guy that we had been discussing before this was Jay Outlaw.
Yeah.
I wanted to touch on him a little bit because you said he's like a rapper that's coming up right now that he's about to blow, and you're like fucking with him hard.
Yeah, I know it. I know he's gonna blow. He just needs the support around him, and I think he's got it right now.
Dude,
he's got a dope manager. I'm making his videos, and he's about to drop an album, and he has such a good personality, and his music has evolved with him as a human. And now, like, he was making music, and the music was cool, but like now he's making music, and the music is as cool as he is. And he had like an injury, and now like that injury I feel like has like changed his. Same with us, right? Like we both got injured, and like some light bulb went off, and boom. And like he fucked up his leg, couldn't even walk for like 6 months. And like he went to the studio. That's all he did.
Started working.
Yeah, he's got like 4 albums and like nothing out. Like nobody knows. But I know. I have all the music over there. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, that's good.
And you're able to basically like use your network of people to kind of be like, hey, like I got this track. We can do this. We can do that.
Yeah.
And like people
are down. So what I didn't realize was that like everything, I mean, I know everything is relationships, right? But like the music relationships I have are just like creative, fun relationships, right? Like let's go create something and then we go make it. I didn't know that those relationships would allow me to plug him, right? So like Problem, we've done like 10 videos together, and we love working together and chatting and having cool creative conversations. And then, I got this song and I go, damn, this is a banger. And so I get the song and I give it to Problem. He goes, I'll hop on. No problem. So boom, he did the video, did the song, done deal. Like for J.O. to be able to just, like me being basically like a middleman, like people would have to pay for those kind of things, but I just made the phone call. I like both parties, put them together and have them create. It was really cool.
Sick.
Yeah.
Dude, yeah, I'm really excited about that. I mean, I'm going to want to have him on the show for sure and just like talk about him and get his story out there. Because I have looked at his music. He's definitely about to blow, because for everything that I've seen, I mean, like for somebody who's not that well known, he still has like close to 20,000 views on his videos. And it's like, damn, like what? Like,
yeah, he's going to go. He's going to go. Yeah.
Super sick.
Yeah, he's going to go. I know it.
Cause I was also looking at his Instagram, and he even shouts you out, like has raw media outs, like all this stuff. And it's like, oh, kind of like what you were saying earlier in the podcast. We're like, because people saw you with him, they thought, we're like, okay, cool. Like he's chill. Yeah. That's exactly what I said to you this morning when I looked at his page and I saw he tagged you on there, and or like in his bio, I'm like, oh, if he's cool with Mike like that,
like we're cool. Yeah.
Yeah.
Come on.
Automatic. Let's chop it up. Yeah. Because like, I definitely am always looking for people to tell me what it is, like they're green, how they're making their money, how they're getting that hustle on. That's exactly why you were a perfect person for the show, is because what you've done, you are the epitome of like hard work, dedication, creativity. Nice. These things you've like brought this life to fruition. And it's like, wow, dude, it's really inspiring, and it's
Thanks.
also at the same time it lets you know that you really can achieve greater things, especially this. I mean, again, putting it out there,
Yeah.
really believing and having conviction in what you're doing is, I don't know, man. Like
That's the most important thing.
it really is.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like sometimes I'm sure you've experienced this. You don't know what you're doing. Maybe like you just have this driving force where it's like, I feel it, but I don't know how I'm going to get there or like what direction I'm really going. Do you ever feel that way?
All the time.
All the time?
Come on. Like, even the idea of making the movie, like, when I was 20, I was like, someday I'll make a movie. But what's weird is, like, anytime I shoot something, it doesn't look like a movie. So it took me 15 years to figure out why my footage doesn't look like a movie.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it took that long. Other people figure it out in 2 seconds, but, like, I really had to study this shit and figure it out and trial and error. Boom, I'm 34 now. Like, I've gone through the trenches.
So
I believe I can do it.
You didn't have a mentor?
I've had, like, people give me advice, but not like, I'm going to show you all the ropes. And like, I had, like, Tim Dowling. He's, like, a skate filmer from back in the day. He would give me a lot of advice and information when we were shooting Built to Shred. So he was, like, a good person, an awesome relationship to have, basically.
Mm-hmm.
Like, he taught me a lot.
Dude, on Built to Shred? You did Built to Shred too?
Yeah. Under Tim Dowling. He was the DP, and then Matt Solomon was the director-producer.
Damn, bringing it back to Fuel TV.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
Mm-hmm.
Wow, dude. Did I know that?
It happened.
Dude, that's
it
crazy.
Happened. It was cool, man.
Did you ever like do like any like Built to Shred? I mean, well, they built all this stuff, but like Willie Santos did something on there.
Everybody did. Everybody. We were at Tony Hawk's house, and I'm going, what the fuck is going on here?
Dude.
It was cool.
Dude, actually, funny story. This shirt, Steel Mill. So shout out to Steel Mill, all the boys. Shay Cooper was roommates with Riley Hawk.
Yeah.
And they started this coffee shop down in Oceanside.
Damn.
And they have choppers out front, and they were on the show. And I got to like talking about how like putting it out there and having these things happen is like, at one point, I met Shay because we worked in coffee together, but then it's like my other homie, Little C. And then I'm sitting just like this from Riley Hawk. And like, I had to be cool about it because I know who he is and I skateboard, whatever. But I tripped out because I was like, who fucking thought like having a podcast show, being in coffee would lead me to sitting across from Tony Hawk's son, having a conversation.
It's crazy, right? How everything just like lines up for you.
It
if you
really
just like
does.
put the work in.
Or even if you keep grinding, you just don't stop. I mean, we were talking about this before the podcast was Nipsey Hussle. For me, he was a person who started all of this. For me, in my eyes, because it was because of him, I'd listen to his music, and that song "Hustle and Motivate" was the one that like introduced me to his music. But then I had like the original name of this podcast was "Hustle and Motivate."
That's cool.
But because I waited for hella long and like didn't really jump on it, the name got taken. Totally fine. But it was because of all that is like, this has come to this, and now I'm sitting here talking to you, and you've actually worked with him in the past, and it was like you got and like Eric Longden and all these things and the Complex thing.
Yeah. We got to do like a little tour around like Slauson, Crenshaw area, and he took us around. It was really cool, man. And then I ended up working for him for like almost 3 months, where I was like his cameraman, and we like went to the Larry King show together, like him and his dad, and I had like really awesome moments between the two of them. And I went on a tour with them, it was like a summer jam, like weekend tour, and really surreal, man. Like, I can't believe,
the people you've met, man. Like,
yeah.
Do you ever just stop and think sometimes, like, what the fuck? Like,
I mean, skating kind of like, I don't know. I feel like being around all the people that I admired as a kid, like, and being in the skate scene and like meeting everybody that I admired, like, really made it so it's not like hard for me to interact with.
Yeah, you don't fan out.
Yeah.
They're just a regular person. It's just
everybody's human, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The echelon. They may be different on a scale, like essentially, but they are just a person. They're gonna wake up in the morning and they have the same problems you do.
Yeah.
Dude, do you ever? I don't know if you've heard about this, but like the imposter syndrome.
What's that?
So people who are extremely successful, like, will sometimes they have this what they call the imposter syndrome, where it's like Meryl Streep, for example. She says one day people are going to wake up and they're gonna realize I can't act, and this has all been a fluke, and like they really don't know what I'm doing. Like they'll think, man, she really doesn't know what she's doing, but she's an Academy Award winner, and you're a successful videographer.
Yeah, but I think it's like even sometimes I wonder, I'm like, do I know what I'm doing? You know what I mean? Like, do I? But I do. Like, you go through the trenches and you figure it out. But like, there's always you're gonna doubt. Like, yeah, I'm gonna make the best movie in the world. But like, is that just me being naive? I don't know. I guess we'll see.
Dude, what? I mean, with that being said, do you ever? How do I put this? Do you ever like have so much confidence and then fall flat on your face and then feel down and just don't get up, or is it that skater mentality that comes in you?
You always get up and
you
do it again.
Always get
yeah.
up.
Like, I failed so many times. Come on, man. That's the only way you get better. But like, every time you fail, you got to get up and try something different. Figure out why you failed and then adapt.
How many times do you think you failed as opposed to the times you succeeded?
I've still failed on every project I've ever done.
Ever?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
How do you figure? Even though it's successful?
Because what I had, like, you're never going to get an A+, right? So I don't feel like I've done the perfect project yet. I've come close. Yeah, but what
was the one that came close to you, or came close for you? Sorry.
Cut Up, the one with Blac Youngsta, was like really close, dude. It was like 85% there. Yeah.
What could have got you to that extra 15%?
There's like a lot of laws that go into shoots, like don't have a baby on set. Like, so there's like this weird law where like you have to have a teacher for a kid, right?
Okay.
And so I was like, cool, like I understand that law and that makes sense. So we had a scene where he was gonna like, there was like a lady staring at him through the window and she was gonna be holding like a little baby. And so like Blac Youngsta in the video is like a milkman and he's making his rounds to hook up with every lady in the neighborhood. So I wanted to have one lady that he had a kid with. And so the lady is holding the baby and the police officer on set like shuts us down, gives us a ticket, and wastes like 2 hours of the shoot because of this baby. And apparently, even though the baby can't speak or walk, like it's a baby and we needed her for 30 seconds, you have to have a teacher for that baby, even if they can't understand what is going on.
A teacher?
Yeah, for a baby. Yeah. So I learned that on that day. And that killed the lighting for the last scene and affected the way we were moving for the rest of the day. We made the best of it, and it's still one of my favorite videos of all time, and I love working with him and Melissa. It's like such a fun experience. But, you know, I've had the baby thing not happen. I would have had a little more time to get exactly what was in my head, you know, onto the screen.
Dude, that's actually, we were talking about that before the podcast. Like, dude, that video was so awesome. Yeah. The song goes good, and then even having him in his milk costume or his milk outfit, like dancing, like thrusting his fucking.
It's so good. It's so good. When I you know what's crazy about him is every time I've worked with him, I have actually cried on set from laughter.
Really?
Like, he just makes me smile. Like, that dude just fucking nails it every time. Like, he's got a good sense of humor. He's down to act, down to do, you know, get creative and make shit happen.
The Court Tomorrow one was really cool too.
Yeah,
dude, yeah. I mean, like, had I not seen those videos, I don't know if I would have heard it. I mean, eventually I probably would have because I listened to all types of rap. And then there was another one that actually really stood out to me because you did 3 different videos.
You want to hit that switch real quick?
Oh, perfect.
Sorry, I couldn't see.
No worries. No worries.
Thank you.
There was Michael Woods. He's like a DJ.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
For Under Armour?
Yeah, that was a Live Nation shoot also. Chris Valona, James, and Jimmy Stewart, those 3 guys were like, come on, let's shoot this thing. So I can't take the credit for that one, but it was really awesome to shoot with it.
But dude, there was like really cool too, like the it's like strength.
Yeah, it was a cool idea. And what's interesting is branded content is usually like very, I don't know what the word for it is, but like not as creative as you'd like it to be sometimes. And so I feel like that was like a cool idea for a campaign where like they focused on these words and like we kind of just express that word in a video. Yeah,
no, I thought that was real. I mean, bringing it all together. What we're talking about is like putting it out there, and what I kind of related to it was the editing aspect, and I'm sure you can definitely relate to that because you're just editing all the time, and I mean, this is what you do for a living. And when I saw him doing that, with the exception of like the DJ aspect of it, what you were reflecting with all of your team reflecting in those video shoots was the dedication that this dude had. I don't even know, dude. To be honest, I'd never heard of him before I watched those videos last night. But already the passion that I saw that came across just through you guys filming him, whether it was working out, whether it was him in the studio, like editing and doing all these things, I was like, yo, I feel what they're trying to get across. And
Yeah.
like what he was like talking about meditation and doing these things. I was like, damn, dude. Again, when I'm watching these things that you're putting out there,
Mhm.
it makes me feel a type of way.
That's cool.
It
That's
really
cool.
does. Like,
All right, we're doing a good job.
Yeah,
There we
dude.
go. Cool. Thank you.
so aside from the movie, is there any big projects that you have come up or coming up that you're excited about or that you'd like to share or people that you want to work with?
I mean, I want to work with Rihanna.
Rihanna?
Yeah, that would be like, that'd be
Riri?
cool. Yeah, I don't know why. It would just be dope. She's cool. She's like, I don't know.
Have you
Something
met her
about
before?
Nope.
No?
Never even been in her presence. Nothing. I just like, that's like the one that I have in my head now.
Okay.
Like I will someday work with her in some capacity. My wife and I will direct one of her music videos.
Damn.
That's just like a goal. Maybe it'll
Okay.
happen in 5 years. I don't know. But I put it out there in the world. Shit, maybe it'll happen.
Do you believe in? I know. I'm sorry. I'm like I had so many questions, but now saying that, do you believe it's you have to say it in your head 1,000 times, or do you like put it into reality and like put it out there, say it out loud?
I actually usually just say it in my head.
Mm.
I don't know why. It's like a weird thing. You know what I would do for a while is I would actually, this is really weird. I'd like wake up, you like wake up, brush your teeth,
Mm-hmm.
and like do like your normal routine. I would like look in the mirror for a second and I would say, I'm going to make all the decisions today that would benefit where I want. Like, let me repeat that. So like basically you look in the mirror and you know where you want to be. So that day specifically, which was every day for me, was every decision was based on the goal that I wanted. So like if it didn't push forward and get me closer to that goal, then I'm not going to do it.
Interesting.
Really weird. I don't know how that happened. It just like turned into a thing.
No,
and
that's
then a
not
mood
weird at
board.
all.
Then also my wife got me on some crazy shit where it was like, hey, what do you want? And I was like, I don't know. Like, I want a red camera. I want some lenses. I want to direct a music video. So she was like, write it down and put it somewhere. And I was like, okay. So I wrote it down and I put it on my door, like as I'd exit my bedroom. So I'd like have to walk past it like 20 times a day. And, within like 6 months, I had everything on that list done. And then I made another list.
It was like short-term goals.
Yeah, like
essentially?
short. Yeah, like
yeah.
I want this. And then I made another list, and that list was really short-term stuff as well. And by the time I could actually get all of it was like material shit, like I want some lens. More, I like a lens hoarder or whatever. So it was just like the thing. I want a steady cam or some shit. And I got to the point where I could like purchase everything on that list, but I'd like move beyond the list. And then I was like, oh shit, I need to start thinking bigger. Like it's not like material shit. It's like I want to make a movie. I want to do this thing in 6 years, or like I want to go on tour. Or I want to have a creative relationship with somebody, or things like that. So I think everybody should just write down what they want. Like
Actually writing it down, putting it on a piece of paper.
Yeah, tape it to your door. You're a fool not to. Why wouldn't you?
Dude, what's so crazy is in my room I have this photo of my homie Haji, and it's him doing like a layback Perlman on an extremely like steep bank, so it actually looked legit as fuck, not like a stupid little bank. But I wrote down my goals for 2020, and it was like, get this belt in jiu-jitsu and like do this and do that. And every single day I look at it. That's why it's like, dude, I didn't even know that you do that. And
you have to.
I literally, it's only 10 things on the list because I'm like, I feel like when I was younger, I used to think like major long-term goals, which is fine. And those fully do that. But what can I do right now to affect right now? Short-term goals.
Yeah.
What can I hit on this goal? Like on these lists. And it's like, boom, I got to do it just every single day. I haven't thought about it in the sense how you were saying, like, don't do everything that doesn't move you in that direction, because I still think that there's certain things that I'll do in my life that will like.
Well, yeah, there's little things. Yeah,
like, little things that it's like this isn't going to benefit me. This is maybe benefiting somebody completely.
Well, you got to
else.
help people.
Exactly.
So for instance, it's not like every decision pushes you towards that objective, but there's indirect things that influence that objective, right? Like maybe helping somebody else with something, and you don't expect anything in return because you just like to be creative and shit. But sometimes the favors that you do just because you enjoy doing things and helping people come back tenfold.
Yeah.
Pretty often, more than not.
Dude, and when you're doing it out of, I feel like when you're doing it out of a certain degree of love, I mean, not like it could be a platonic love, it could be like a romantic love, whatever you have. But if you're doing it out of like the kindness of your heart, and you're doing it like, you're like, yo, just like you said, you're not expecting anything in return. You just want to help that person. It's going to come back regardless. And that's, again, it's not doing it because you want it to come back. It's just like, yo, I can help you. Let's fucking get it.
Yeah, let's do it. Why not? I got some time today. Let's do it.
Yeah. Let's get it after it. Dude, I fucking, Mike, that's why I fuck with you so hard.
Yeah.
Like, yo, and these things, I mean, dude, we haven't seen each other in years.
Yeah, it's been a while.
But I mean, like I was saying before the podcast, one of the last times I seen you was you were walking behind The Game and Chris Brown, and I was just like, yo, bro, like, what?
That's crazy, right?
Yo, Mike, and you're just
the
like
DGK party, right?
Yeah, it was the DGK party, and I seen you with like you had the straps around your on your belly, and you're walking with the cameras. What up, fool? Like, or like, what up, Kono? And I was just like, all right, later, and you just like kept going, and it's like I totally understood you were working, but it was like,
yeah, people sometimes think I'm like blowing them off or whatever, and it's like, no, I'm like actually, even though like we're at this like event, like I'm working this event.
Yeah, dude. For people to think that, I mean, like, come on, you have this entire rig linked up to your body. It's like essentially it's an extension of you.
Yeah.
So it's like, no, dude, you're working, you're getting after it. But it's so like amazing to see you in live in action. It's like you're just following The Game and Chris Brown. Like, wow, like
that's funny.
That's fucking cool, bro. Like, where do you see yourself? I mean, I would say 5 years for you, but like, you have so much already like kind of planned for this year. I mean, what do you see happening by the end of this year?
Nothing. Yeah. Like, I don't think the next, like, the goals that I have are really big, and those goals can't be achieved that quickly. And I just have to understand that, like, being patient is fine. It's okay. Like, everybody, you know, a lot of younger filmmakers are, you know, damn, like, they want, I don't know. There's something going on right now where not even in filmmaking, but like people want to be somebody. People want to overachieve. They want to be bigger than they are. They want to like one up themselves, and that doesn't happen overnight.
No,
it's gonna take 10 years.
Yeah.
Like, just accept it. If you want to do it, you'll do the work. If you just want to be like, if I were to ask you like, yo, what do you want to do? And you're like, I want to be famous. I'd be like, you're crazy. Like, you should be like, yeah, actually, I want to do like this, the short film series that I'm working on, and like maybe start a YouTube channel. Like, what you want to do should be the process, and that will get you to the level that you want to get to.
Of course.
Yeah.
Dude, no, I completely agree. I mean, there's right now, there's this whole, like, because if you watch any type of motivational speakers or just people in general who are successful, they always talk about, like, right now is the easiest time in our lives to be a millionaire. You know, so many people are millionaires. So many people can be famous.
No. After taxes, you ain't no millionaire.
Yeah, and it's like, well, it's like social media, whatever have you. It's like, because it's just so easy to have access to these people now and to do these things. But I mean, even Joe Rogan, took him 10 years to get to the point where he's at. And that dude was UFC, comedian, and now in his podcast, all for 10 years. And now it's only been within the last, maybe 3 years that everybody on a world scale is recognizing him. That means there was 7 years
of hustle,
grinding, probably even years before that, before he was even started to recognize. So it's like, even with technology, even with being social media savvy and doing these things, it is a constant grind.
Yeah, man.
Forever. And that is, I think, what maybe has stood the test of time, in the sense where there was always a grind, especially like, I'm sure Nipsey before social media was hustling just as hard or doing what he needed to do to get known in his area. And then it's like, you know, he made $1 million off Bitcoin. So it's like, boom. And then it's like, but did he stop?
I didn't know that.
Yeah, dude, I watched a video about him talking about how he made $1 million off of Bitcoin before Bitcoin was big.
I'm still trying to get mine.
Dude.
From Bitcoin.
Yeah. Bro, you know what I'm saying? So it's like, I think one thing that I definitely had to learn myself was, I thought once you got to a certain point that everything would just kind of happen. It's like, no, bro, you can get to a certain point, have the biggest premieres or do the biggest things, but it's what's next? What's going to keep getting you there? Because it's not what one thing you've done. It's
you're only as good
of everything.
And you're only as good as your next job.
Yeah. I mean, your body of work, for whether it's on the website, whether it's your YouTube channel or anything like that, I mean, your portfolio is exceptional.
Right.
And then we were talking about your Instagram. We were talking about that before the podcast. Is like, that is essentially your new age portfolio. Yeah. So it's like, do you find that you're having to always keep up with that, or you're just like, yo, I know.
Slowed down.
You slowed down.
Like, I'm only gonna post something that like, shit, I barely post anything. Honestly, like I like kind of like the story better because it can be like some day to day stuff. But like as far as what's in the feed, yeah.
Dude, your stories are so hilarious, especially when you always put the same song.
Yeah. I was doing like the Tekashi song for like a year straight. But all the filmmakers started doing it. It was really funny.
Dude, I love that you were bumping 6ix9ine too, because
Mhm.
like I love 6ix9ine.
If you don't think it's hilarious and like fun, like what are you talking about? Like I
Dude.
get it, he's not like a dope lyricist or whatever, but like
Dude, same
it
tree,
was fun.
different
Yeah,
branch.
it was fun. It's
Yeah.
fun. I like to have. You don't like to smile? Like cool. I don't understand you.
Dude, people get so bent out of shape, and that's what when I was like super getting into him with the rainbow hair and the rainbow grill, and this white dude is just dropping the N-bomb. I mean, he's a Mexican dude and Colombian or whatever, but like he looks white and he's dropping the N-bomb, and all of a sudden all these dudes are around him just like, yeah, it's fine. Like,
Mm-hmm.
how do you not think this is tight? Like, come on, this is hilarious. I loved it. And then I seen your story and you're like, Gummo, every song. Like every story.
Every song Gummo. Yep. Uh-huh. That shit made me smile.
Dude,
Yeah.
it's fucking hilarious. It is fucking hilarious. Just keep being you, man. Just
Thanks.
please don't ever stop,
Thanks.
because it's like obviously it's working, and you've worked with all these amazing people. You have great aspirations. You have like, dude, fuck, man. I can't stop praising you enough, because it's like
Thanks.
I remember you when we're the same age.
Yeah.
I'm about to turn 34. I remember you when we were like young as fuck, just trying to figure it out.
Yeah,
and you were
man.
so good at Switch. That's the one thing I remember. Like you were always really good, but then you could do everything you did regular, but Switch. And sometimes your Switch was better.
Yeah, it was better. It was weird. I don't know what happened.
Dude, I remember you on the skate lab bench. You did like backside. You could kickflip back 5-0, and then you turn around on the quarter pipe and you did switch flip backside 5-0.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I used to have that, but it was pretty. I was
And
okay.
it was
Yeah, I was good. I was good enough.
balanced.
Yeah.
Dude, on your goofy, it was like tail. And then on Switch, it was balanced, and you like kind of popped out. And I was just like, that's when I knew. I was like, damn, he's fucking good. And then like the Switch nose blunt and the rails. I remember I filmed you do a couple rails.
Yep.
And now to see this, and it's just like, fuck, man. Good for you, bro.
Thanks,
like,
man.
like honestly, like I'm really happy for you.
Hell yeah.
This is
I
super
appreciate it.
cool.
Yeah.
But I mean, dude, we're at an hour and a half.
Oh
This is
wow.
exactly-
That was. I felt like 10 minutes.
Dude, it's
that's cool.
fucking super quick. Tell the people, please, where they can find you. Websites, Instagram,
Shit.
social media, whatever.
Just at Mike Marasco, MikeMaresco. That's it.
And if they want to hire you, what's that company brand?
Oh, Raw Media House.
Yep,
Yeah,
there
hit
we
us
go.
up. Hit
There
us
we
up.
go.
Mhm.
And it's that the website is .com, and then it's at Raw Media House on Instagram.
Yeah, at Raw Media House on Instagram, www.rawmediahouse.com. It's all pretty simple, my name or whatever. you know?
Yes.
Yeah, it's cool.
Dude, well, Mike, again, thank you for letting us be at your house. Thank you for all of this, and thank you for being a guest, bro. This is not going to be the last time you're going to be on the show.
Cool. Thank you.
Dude,
Appreciate you.
thank you
Yep.
so. I appreciate you, Mike.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, shout out Cassandra Brook. I love you. All right. Peace.
Peace. Yes, thank you so much, Mike. That was an amazing conversation. I hope y'all are as inspired as I am after listening to how he's persevered, how he's overcome, how he's continued to live his passion every single day. That is what this podcast is all about. Getting that passion, getting that hustle on. I love it. I want to say thank you to the sponsors of the podcast, Thorn Street Brewery and Seven Seas Roasting. And I want to say thank you to all of you who continue to support Caffeine and Green and spread the word. And if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button. Caffeine and Green is what it is. Keep spreading the word. Let's keep it going, y'all. And until next week, peace.